Yeah.
And bullshit because your employer.
All right. Prospect, stay outside. Everyone else, make your way to the church room.
Roger that.
Yep.
Ulrich, you can have some time to get changed, but
Already done. You better be watching to see if it's clear. I'm going to tell you that now. You don't know what I know. Oh, it wasn't all going up north, Nimrod. Believe me. It's nothing bad on you, but it's not them all going up north. It's a lot worse, isn't it, Tom? They were storming Sandy. They were looking for someone. Yeah, I know who they were looking for.
Shorty. Shorty. Thank you. Go ahead.
That was fun.
all right. Who's ready to get this shit show started?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah,
Understatement of the
I'm
month.
here. How's that?
Shorty on the outside, please.
I'm grateful to be here.
Okay, so I understand both Fenrir and MK have some stuff to bring up from the church meeting, and then after they've had their chance to discuss what they want to discuss, I will bring up the church topics for the club matters, and we will discuss each of one of those.
I think I'll let MK start. I'm still recovering.
Understandable. MK, do you want to discuss what you need to discuss, man?
Yep, give me just a second to pull out my notes. Alright, first things first, been a bit since both VP and President's been around for us to talk. We've got the dealership going now. The only thing we're waiting on is a grand opening, and for me to finish the paperwork. That one's gonna be fun. We have found some interesting locations as of late. Meaning we found Chop Shop. We have found a place to sell things from the contract tablet. The search for the pins is still not come up to anything fruitful. Well, I had another thing here, but I'll wait until we get to that topic in the actual church topics.
Which would be?
Karma and MDX.
Alright.
What else was there? I don't know if anyone's had time to, in the hierarchy, to take a look at the document I put into the hierarchy emails, but I have started a detailed assessment of certain products we've been looking into. I need to update it with the newest one that I've been given help with doing. Yeah. What was it? What were we calling it? The little blueberries, Ulrich?
Yeah, the blueberries.
We also found out that they give beneficial effects if taken. The big M gives you a boost in your running speed, and the big H gives you a little bit more in your stamina. Allows you to just run a lot more, which is quite nice if we need to outrun something. Diesel, this one is to you because I need to ask you about this. When I do the grand opening for the dealership, how do you feel about a Harmony employee being up there to offer tunings?
I mean, the biggest thing is other than the drag strip, we're not able to offer any work other than at the shop.
No.
Hold on a sec. Sorry to cut you off there. What was that thing about the H? What does it give you? Was it strength?
No,
H was
you
stamina.
can run faster, run more, not faster, but you can run longer.
I thought you said that was M.
M gives you.
M makes you run faster. H makes you run longer.
Yeah. Okay, well, we will figure out the thing for Harmony then, because I do want to still do
We can
that.
definitely have someone on duty, or I should be around again by then. I could open Harmony and have it to where you got a bike from up there. If you bring it down to Harmony tonight, you'll have like a 30% discount on tunings.
What I could
Because
also,
unfortunately, like we couldn't do any sort of discount on like the work order stuff because that's predetermined.
yeah, what we could do also is like for the, because I do plan to have it as an event. If someone purchases it, the employee who sells it tells them to head down to Harmony and come back with a vehicle for a contest. Maybe I can entice people to come back with their souped up vehicles and bikes, stuff like that, to win something. We can sort that out as the days get closer. I think that's all I've got for right now. All my other stuff is more tied up into the other topics.
Okay. Now, as some topics have been amended in my mental state, I'm going to go over the topics that remain. Okay. One topic to remain is obviously there has been some developments while you've been away. To make everyone else aware that wasn't aware, mostly you were probably asleep, Tommy. We now own the entire Alturas camp up north.
Nice.
And probably $200,000 worth of artillery has been purchased as well with the funds. Now, the funds were actually contributed by Shorty himself. He wanted to do something nice for the club.
That's very nice of you,
Another
Shorty. Thank you.
recent topic that came up was a bad one. I was at Tequila Law working. Now, there was a person coming around saying that they saw a sheriff with a couple sheriffs or a sheriff with a couple SWAT team vans. Now, I know for a proven fact what I saw was a SWAT team van and 3 sheriffs pull up and swarm the place. So apparently something down at Tequila Law, being the owners, typically we can identify as, say, Chloe, which would probably be in DX, and the other being Perk, which is over security, a little bit over top of me, ended up sitting there and saying and getting pulled too. So there is something going on there. Now, Perk, obviously, we know is Karma because we've identified that. So we are going to have to be on our toes. They are getting warrants And this is bad news. And the sheriff seems to be in on every fucking bit of it. Other than that, am I missing anything that recently occurred other than the events with Karma and stuff like that? Anyone knows? Speak up.
That's all I know of.
Not that I know of.
I can't. I mean, no, I can't think of anything.
Well, besides the fact that MDX is actually doing good enough to start dealing to us. Part of the package was purchased through MDX.
Good.
I think the rest of the stuff may be already being sorted, so I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, well, thank you for filling us in on those situations. I'm really happy that you were able to get your dealership there, MK. And I'm glad I was able to buy my bike from you instead of the shop down south. If you need any help with the paperwork, you know, you can reach out to us. We're happy to help you with that. As for the locations that were found, well done on finding those, everyone who was involved. Make sure you update those files and make sure everyone in the hierarchy knows what's going on with them. And those who will need to know later on down the track will be told later on down the track. As for the assessments and products, I appreciate you doing that list for us. It really does help us out. And as I said, Shorty, thank you very much for getting that location for us. That is really much appreciated, man, and very nice of you to do so, especially with how much it would have cost. God damn.
You're welcome. I basically handed 2 mil to Oric and asked him to set things in motion for me.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you. That will really come in handy, especially if we can have housing up there. People can wake up and keep an eye on the area, and obviously the hired help don't need to be up there all that often. So that'll be good.
Yep.
Now, is that all the stuff you guys had for those two situations?
Well, on that subject of the property, I am in talks with construction of getting a locking gate for people that have keys to properties there to keep it secured.
That'll be
It's
good as
still
well.
in the air.
Excuse me a minute. Yo, what's up, man?
Yo, I am so sorry I didn't show up. We were leaving Tequila Lot and we got 5 ARs pointed towards our dome by some random fucking SWAT officers, and now we're sitting in a cell.
Oh shit.
We don't have warrants, nothing. They unlawfully searched us. So they're fucked. They also didn't put a seatbelt on me when they were driving and went over 100 miles an hour and went off-roading. But yeah, we're in the Blaine County Sheriff's Office right now, so
Fuck, man.
that's why I didn't show up.
No, you're all good. That's why I said I'd give you a call afterwards, because we're currently in the meeting at the moment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're all good, brother. I appreciate the heads up. I hope everything works out, and if there was something we could do to help, I would do my best, but obviously we can't really storm the sheriff's department, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let us know when you get out, and I'll try and make sure we can be there to pick you up if they send you to prison. If not, we'll try and organize a lift for you. All right.
I bet. I appreciate it, dog.
Anytime, man. We'll catch up soon. All right.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
You as well.
Fuck.
The fuck's going on?
Jose just got picked up in that little situation down at Tequila Law.
Yeah, a lot of people did. The only reason I got out was I was outside contract.
Yeah, but the thing is, he hasn't been around that long to have fucking warrants or anything. What the fuck?
Likely got arrested, wrong place, wrong time.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, apparently that he wasn't looked after either. They didn't buckle him in properly. They illegally searched them.
Huh.
What the fuck?
Sounds like a lawsuit to me.
Yep.
Yeah,
Same.
excuse me a minute, I need to walk around, otherwise my legs are gonna get tired.
Stretch, motherfuckers.
Yeah, stretch those fucking legs.
I already did. I did.
Alright. Now on to the club matters, if that's everything you guys had to say. I don't want to interrupt you guys or cut your guys' talk short.
I did forget something.
You let him talk.
Go on.
Because I only filled you in on this, Skull, but I didn't get a chance to let Diesel know. We have a new place up in Grapeseed. Another storage area.
All right.
When you get the chance to try to remind me so I can get you keys up there.
Get with you after church. Unfortunately, I was only able to fly back for church today.
That's fine. That was the last thing I had to mention. I did forget that.
Alright. Well. At least now that we've been filled in on those things. Is there anything else I need to be filled in on, or we need to be filled in on, as to what's been happening, that kind of shit?
Well, besides Karma coming off from MDX and starting shit with everybody, and then what you know, that's really. Besides Karma trying to attack one of our members with one of their vehicles.
Alright, we'll get to that once we get to that topic.
I think everything that's left is just gonna have to wait until the certain topics come up.
Yeah. Do you want to...
Keep up low.
Thank you.
Any better?
That's better.
Okay. Now, I haven't told anyone this apart from Diesel here, because obviously Diesel and I knew him back in prison. Unfortunately, you guys probably know, we do have a sergeant in arms, but he hasn't been around due to him being in a coma for the last little while. I have had an update on his progress. Unfortunately, he isn't waking up anytime soon. Looks like things are going to get worse before they get better, unfortunately.
The doctor's got an idea what they can do.
No, apart from keeping him comfortable and keeping observation on him and stuff like that, there isn't really
Life
much they
support
can
and
do.
all that.
Thankfully, it's not that bad. He's not on life support. He's just not able to breathe for himself at the moment. It's not good, apparently.
So he's on breathing oxygen. Okay.
Yeah. It's not good. Let's put it that way. But,
Well, let's hope he gets better, and maybe we can see if we can try to fund some way to maybe help his doctor bill, even. Maybe propose that. Bro, those of us that can. Does that make sense?
yeah. And I'm sure I speak for my Diesel as well as myself. We do appreciate the offer. But I'll keep you guys updated on his progress. But due to this circumstance, I feel that it is necessary to look at another option for a fill-in while he's currently in a coma. Unfortunately, I know he can't speak for himself, but I feel it's the best thing to do for the club, especially if Diesel or myself aren't around. We need someone else who can be here and help keep you guys in line. And I'm sure he would understand, but the person who takes over this role understand that it is only a fill-in until he wakes up. When he wakes up, you will potentially be put into another role. Does everyone agree and understand?
Well, I think that's perfect. Have a steward fill in.
Yeah.
Because it's only common in any kingdoms. They used to use stewards when, you know, the royal family was, you know, ill or didn't have any heirs that were known, right?
Pretty much. But obviously I wanted to let you guys know what was going on, and
Now this steward needs to be responsible, though. I mean, I think Diesel would agree. We don't need a power struggle when the time comes and he finally makes a recovery, do we?
what do you think on the matter here, Diesel?
I can agree with having a steward fill in for now, yeah.
I think they need to be responsible and understand too, though, don't you?
Yeah. But I've been keeping an eye on someone who potentially might be decent for this role. But I don't want to have them feel uncomfortable.
Speak your mind. We're all family here. We're all brothers.
All right. Before I do, can the two members walk out the door, and MK, do you mind keeping an eye on them for me?
Yep.
I know he has only been in the enforcer role a short time, but I believe MK is a good fit.
I'd say
From what I've seen while I've been
I
away
can agree with
anyway.
that.
I've seen enough from him to know that if I counted on someone to keep stuff moving, it would be him.
Yeah.
I can speak from a personal experience. I've seen this boy bust his back, take out of his own pocket, and still orchestrate deals for the benefit of this club.
Yeah. And then I've
orchestrate
also got
storage.
a couple in mind for the other two as well, but obviously want to wait until we get to that spot.
Yeah.
But because we're talking about the SAA at the moment, I felt this was a necessary thing to bring up right now.
Yeah. I would second your opinion on who you feel would be accurate.
VP?
You okay there, VP?
Yeah, sorry, just dealing with stuff in head as well.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the person that they're suggesting?
I can agree with that. They've definitely grown quite a bit. I've only seen them improve. I don't have any objections to it.
And I've seen so much growth even beyond that, you'd almost be so fucking proud of him.
Yeah, well, I know I definitely am, especially with me being on sat phone and stuff like that. Alright guys, you can come back in. I'm just glad that we're all on the same page with this one. All right.
There we go.
MK, do you mind stepping back out? Sorry, bud. Okay, I brought you two in here because obviously you two have a vote. I've spoken about it with the founder and VP here because obviously these guys have been around a lot longer and I wanted to show respect to have that, let them have their say. I'm considering, like, I'd like to put a vote on the table to have MK fill in for Carl while he's in a coma as the SAA. What's the... Those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Ulrich?
Now, I can't disagree that he's filling the role so fucking well at this point. He might as well have that role temporarily.
I agree.
And in the event that, unfortunately, our SAA never wakes up, I mean, he'd still be a fit even if that became a permanent. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I hope he does wake up soon. I'm miss the guy terribly, but... And I'm sure
I
he'd
know,
understand.
It's terrible to see someone get hurt and end like that.
Alright. Seems like it's unanimous.
Shall we call him in?
MK, do you want to step back in here, please?
I think you may want to step forward.
Yeah, you may want to come up here, bro.
I think you're whispering, Prez. I can barely hear you.
I want you to reach in the box and tell me what you see.
I see a set of new patches.
What do they say on it?
SAA.
Congratulations, man. You've been voted in as the fill-in SAA until Carl comes out of his coma. If he comes out of his coma. Now, this does bring in a lot of responsibility, and I do understand if you do not want to accept it, but we all feel that you have made the necessary improvements to fill in for this role for the time being. So,
I appreciate everybody's trust in me on this one.
you're very welcome, man. And I'm sure Carl would be happy to know that we've found someone to fill in his role until he wakes up.
That has big enough shoes to maybe fill the role.
If he
Those are
wakes
some big
up,
shoes to fill.
if he wakes up, we'll see what happens from then on. But at this point in time, you'll be known as Brimstone's SAA. Congratulations, brother.
Understood. Thank you.
I will get that all fixed up for you after church, and we'll get you out of that. Get those patches sewn on for you. Alright. Next point of call. Remember that little discussion you had with Diesel and myself in my office a little while back?
Who are we talking to?
MK.
Jog my memory just a little bit.
Involves green.
Oh, yes.
Do you have an update on that for us?
So it is a bit of a complicated setup to go about this. My issue is I still haven't found a decent area to do this in where I'm not going to be mauled by a cougar. Because it appears that if you move too far away from the plant just straight up dies. So you have to be near it until it matures to be harvested. So because of that, having a safe area is necessary to avoid those goddamn cougars. I also found that do not grow them indoors. Even though it works, it doesn't.
Alright, well it looks like we're gonna have to help you find somewhere to be able to do that safely. Hell, even at our new house up north, might be able to find somewhere there.
That actually might work.
At least it'll be close by that up north stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll check it out later on, alright?
I could test that theory out as well if y'all wish me to.
Alright. Now, I think I know what's going to happen here, considering it's probably going to be the same outcome as the last 2 weeks. But an update on the Signy situation. What do we want to do about her?
Everyone else, speak your mind first.
Let's say she has improved, but still with that temper is another issue. That hasn't been as much temper, is still slightly there, and not sure if how much of the trigger happy situations there still are.
Understandable.
I second
say
what
she has
Cerbie
improved.
said.
Okay. MK?
I'll let Shorty go first.
I was just saying I agree with what Cerbie said there.
So, what I've seen of her when she's been awake, she has improved a bit better. There was a situation the other day where I heard about her not being on radio, and it wasn't until seeing VP again that all this was happening, and I had to have a talk with her. Based off what she says to me, she had been in radio. So I don't know if it was.
There is an
my
anonymous
issue.
feature, and sometimes with the radio, you do have to turn it off and back on again after people join. It has happened with me a couple of times, but obviously I can still hear your voice.
As I said, that I had to talk with her about it. That's what she told me, was that she had been in the radio, and then Diesel had informed her to be in radio after that. So I don't know what happened because I wasn't there. All I can go based off of what she told me, but I can say when I woke up, I think it was yesterday, she was sitting in the radio by herself, waiting for others to awake. And I've tasked her with, I've reminded her to going back out and searching for things. I tried to give her a little bit of incentive, so maybe she will go find some stuff now. but she did follow orders pretty well when I told her to come up to Grapeseed to meet with me and Cerberus. So she is. I will say she is getting better.
Now, I'll put my 2 cents in, I guess. I can see some improvements. As for the radio, I can attest I've personally had that anonymous feature fuck me over, so I've had to rejoin the radio station again just to see your guy see who it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, as for the temper, I recall once upon a time a young VP who had a fire in his belly that was trigger happy as fuck.
Hey, what can yeah, I was Hey,
He
I
had
haven't.
a
I'm still.
temper, but his heart was in the right place, and because of that, he did goddamn good.
Well, I appreciate the vote of confidence, man. You don't have to suck up too much. God damn.
No, I'm just telling the fucking truth. I'm saying I see a lot of shit like that. Now, yeah, there's a couple rough around the edges moments. We're going to have to work around with them, but I have no real problems.
Yeah, yeah. What was that, Shorty?
Reminder to stretch.
Ah, yes. Okay,
You
well,
wanted to
by
stop?
the sounds of it, things are starting to improve, which is a good thing. I'm not sure. Obviously, VP might not have much to say about it because he's been.
I was about to say I'm gonna abstain. I haven't been around enough other than that one day where I informed MK here that she wasn't on radio.
Prez, we obviously know you've been out, so you're obviously off on that one.
Yeah,
mean,
well,
like you were saying earlier, like we're a family. I will trust your guys' judgment. Doesn't mean I'm not going to keep my eye on her if she does move up, but
Oh, I'm going
I
to
will
keep my
trust your
eye
guys'
on
judgment.
people even if we patch them. I'm still going to keep an eye. They're still going to be a member, and they're still going to be under, someone.
yeah, well, that's exactly it. Look at what happened yesterday when we had our meet up with Karma. I had to tell both Shorty and Cerbie off with the help of MK here. Again, we nipped those two things in the butt. But I'm also going to be keeping an eye. I do not plan on going on another vacation for a little while, so I will be around.
So let's put it to the test. What's
So
your
I'm putting the vote up. Those in favor of patching in Signy?
I have no complaints.
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, and then there's 2 abstained, which are me and VP. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Based on what I'm hearing now, let's get her patched. Who was her sponsor?
It was me, sir. And I've been working with her.
And I appreciate that. So after church, we're all going to be involved in this one. We're all going to take part in it. VP, I'm not sure if you're going to be around. If you need to crash out, I completely understand. But the rest of us who are around will be involved.
Sadly, I'm going to have to crash out after this, too.
That's why I said the rest of us who are around. And we're going to have a little bit of fun with this one, because I think she's worked fucking hard to get to it. Alright?
I would agree.
I agree.
So, we'll deal with that after we've got the patches sewn on for MK, and then we'll take care of business on that note.
Okay. Next topic.
Okay. Members, I'm gonna have to ask you to step out again, please.
All good.
Quit your complaining, Cerbie. I heard that.
Out.
Alright. This next one, I need all of you to have a vote on. Because obviously, I want to put 2 people in as treasury and secretary, or along those lines. We need to start filling our ranks, and obviously the more hierarchy we have around, the more people we can put in below.
Listening.
So, MK and I were discussing a little while back. I offered him the role of secretary, but now he's been put up higher than that. Which again, congratulations on that, man. But I believe he had a suggestion for one of those 2 roles.
I do.
Put it on the table, man.
I feel because of all his time that he's put into this club, you know, he's been here before even I was. He's shown a lot of, you know, willingness to do stuff, help out, and everything. I think the role of treasurer would suit Cerbie. I even had a conversation with him once where he said that was something that he wouldn't mind doing.
Alrighty. And what do you guys think?
I see no issue with it. He's
I
put in a
see
lot of
no
work for
issue
the
at
club.
all.
Plus, Treasurer he's always said that he didn't want to be involved in too much of the crime side of things. Treasurer is one of those roles that doesn't have to be involved as much with that. Or am I wrong in saying that?
You are correct. That is accurate.
Cool. Alright, well, all those in favour to have Cerbie put up the treasurer?
Aye.
Aye.
I love it when it's...
Do we want to do one more thing and discuss the next before we bring them back in?
Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. I just need to put this information down on my notes here. Alright. Now, I believe you're also bringing up a possible... you had someone in mind for something else. I can't remember which role or who, if it was... I'm pretty sure it was Shorty, but I can't remember which role you were thinking of for him.
Okay, guys, speak up.
Well,
I think he was talking to you.
What? Oh,
no,
fuck
no,
you
no.
too.
I was talking to MK.
Oh, me. Oh, damn. I mean, honestly, I think he would fit the
That's-
role that I just left vacant.
Secretary.
I meant my enforcer one.
That is an idea. But he also likes to talk a lot on the radio, so I'm thinking maybe road captain, tail gunner.
I could see a road captain.
Sorry, you were saying MK?
I was saying tail gunner.
Or a tail gunner. Yeah,
I think
definitely.
because the role of the tail gunner is to protect us on our rides, and he's always right there ready to protect me and Ulrich every time we've ridden out lately.
Yeah.
You know, every time we've needed him there with us, you know, he's hopped either into his bike or his car and made sure that me and Ulrich got safely to where we were going.
I could see that. So it sounds like he's suited to a road captain.
I think road captain or tail gunner, either one. Yeah. He needs to work on his talking over the radio though when he's calling out stuff, because I know he has a hard time getting things out.
I would say, like, just based off that, bump him to tail gunner and then, you know, give him time to practice that because he'll need to practice it when he's running his tail gunner for a ride anyways. He'll be blocking off intersections, shit like that.
That's what I was thinking too. And then if
As he
he, when
improves,
he
we can bump him up
improves,
further.
we can talk about putting him up further.
Yeah, I like that idea.
All those in favor of Shorty being tail gunner?
Aye.
Aye.
Fucking love it when it's unanimous. Bear with me to
Call
put
the
these
boys
notes.
in.
Not yet. Not yet. Let me put these notes down. That way I can get ready.
I've got an email here on my phone. You know, Astrid does use that sat phone sometimes. And she's in concurrence with it. I really wish she'd come out of the woods and stop using a satellite, don't you?
Yeah. I really don't mind. Alright, boys, you can come back in. Cerbie, come to the end of the table. Alright, same as what MK did. I want you to reach in and tell me what you feel.
One sec. Bruh.
What do you say and feel?
Why does it feel like a cut or something?
It wouldn't be a cut, but you're pretty much what you've already got on your cut right now.
Right. No way.
What does it read?
Hard to see. No.
Congratulations, brother. You are now the treasurer of Brimstone MC.
Hell yeah.
And the reason we best suited you for this role is because it is one of those roles that you've always said you didn't really want to get involved in the crime side of things. This role you don't have to be involved in it.
Unless I wish at times.
But you've also got to make sure you're keeping track of all the money that gets spent, alright?
Fair enough. Like I say, I'm good with cash.
Congratulations,
Except for-
man.
except for
We'll get
fucking
those
gas.
congratulations, man. We'll get those patches sewn on for you as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Shorty,
Yep.
I got something here for you too. Same thing. Reach in, tell me what you feel.
Feels round, maybe squarish.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a patch.
Tell me what it says.
Tail gunner.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You've worked really hard for that.
You kept us safe whenever we needed to be safe. You got us
Yep.
out of trouble, and that's what we need for that.
And I'll continue.
Congratulations, both of you.
Thank you.
We'll get all the new promotions fixed up once church is concluded, and all those patches will be signed on. Like, will be sewed on once we get downstairs and things like that. Now, this next topic is something that I've had noticed someone asking about already, and it's actually people who are involved in it, but people are asking about the CDC situation, Diesel.
Yeah, I just need to get the final plan for. I need a count from Dark Wolves actually to make sure I have enough trucks, and then I'll be supplying the trucks for it. In turn, Brimstone will take, half the cut from the robberies for this shit. If they do want to get in touch with me to start planning it, I do have a DC channel. I'll go ahead and. You want me to email it to you real quick?
No, I've already got access to
no,
that channel.
Yeah, I was about to say, never mind. You've already got that. If you want,
best person
give
to
that the
reach out to
hierarchy.
reach out to Ron or Chris when you get the chance.
Gotcha.
Preferably Ron. That way we can organize to meet up with them and you can speak to them directly yourself.
Yeah. I'll need to run down to trucking and get the exact price for that those trucks.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
What is this CDC thing?
So fill the rest of you guys in that don't know. We are looking at having a business deal with Dark Wolves. I know I mentioned to y'all before we were looking at doing a larger business deal with them, and beforehand we were looking at having like a little get-together, hangout here at the clubhouse or something, kind of build camaraderie between the MCs before we do this. But basically we are going to be seeing about getting some forged papers and making it look like the CDC is in town investigating a new virus, which we will be using as a cover to hit as many fucking house robberies as we can in a single sitting in conjunction with Dark Wolves. There are some Humane Labs trucks that you can buy down at the trucking dealership. And we should be able to use those in conjunction with some hazmat suits and things like that we can buy. Really convince the PD that, there's some big shit going on. We will have to have probably a couple people. I know I was probably going to end up doing it, but I'll probably need someone from DW as well as quote unquote supervisors. So that way, if the badges have fucking questions, we can actually run them through a quote unquote supervisor and just keep their fucking heads spinning. On top of that, like I said, we were looking at we'll supply the trucks. In return, Brimstone will take 50% of the profit. But this will not only, be our little hello to the fucking popo, but it'll also get the club some money.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good on that one.
All right. Well, I'm glad that one was quick and easy. If you would like, I can try and organize a meetup with DW and let you know when they're interested. Put something in the chain. That way I can, when you're around next, you can contact them and say, hey, let's have this meetup kind of thing.
Yeah, I know I spoke to DW when they were here last time about it a little bit. Let them know that, or they basically told me that, whatever day we decide, let them know ahead of time what day and time we're planning on doing this shit. And they'll get as many people as they can in on it. But I still need, like I said, that specific number. That way I know how many trucks to buy.
Sounds good. All right. Next point of call. Apparently there's, we obviously had a meeting with them yesterday. Karma. It sounds like there's a fair bit going on with them.
I don't trust them.
I wouldn't even trust trust him as far as I can throw him.
Neither do I.
My scrawny ass can't throw shit.
I mean, you got to realize I work in a place that they known have ties to with their head of security, and it was just raided by the fucking police.
Which tells me the badges are looking into either MDX or Karma or both.
Yeah. Ducky, you said you had some notes on that? Oh, MK, sorry.
Yeah, so to fill you guys in on everything leading up to yesterday, we got contact on Birdie introducing like the whole city to them when they called out DW. Apparently they had a skirmish over by the DW's new compound down in Vespucci Beach. At the time I had rode through there, did not know that there had been a fight. I come to find out from JD that they had just had a gunfight with a new group in town. Later on, Ulrich informs me that he saw a black. Do you remember what kind of model it was?
You said it was a Cara, like my black and red truck.
No, this was a car.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, me?
Yeah. Do you remember what the vehicle?
I was down at a BM stop, for dropping off some packages for Uber, and a vehicle that was rather long, looked like it had a penis-shaped lid on it. It was one of the longer ones. Pulled in, it was black, it had a white stripe down the center, and it had purplish pink underglow.
Oh, I remember now. You were telling me about it. It's a Bravado Banshee custom.
Okay.
It's like my white, black, and red one that I drive around in.
Okay,
Yes.
we know the make and model now. Then.
Yeah.
Now, the lady that
and if
got
anyone
out,
needs to see it after we get done with church, I can pull it out of the garage out here.
now the lady that got out had black hair, very much like someone we may have been introduced to, but they had black hair with some white punk, the punk rock style tips on their hair that were white.
Yeah.
They were dressed in that. The other one was wearing a black mask with the word karma written on it, and had, well, it wasn't small arms. It was standard to what we use.
So after Ulrich informed me about seeing this vehicle down by his BM stop, I then took Ulrich with me to go see if we could find said vehicle. As we were driving around, we were getting tailed by MDX. They were in their territory looking like they were on a warpath. We met up with MDX over at CC's, and they filled us in that they had been attacked by Karma. The Karma had also gone after them in the same day. And as we were calling Shorty down to meet up with us at CC's, this same vehicle went and tried to ram Shorty off the road, and then started tailing him. So after that situation, we then called for a meeting with DW to figure out what was going on. Ourselves, MDX, and DW all met up. And as we were having the meeting, they ended up driving past us, which sent everybody in a tizzy, I would say. The best word I could have for that.
It put us in action.
Yeah, frenzy. I mean, a lot of us went up north towards Polito to meet up once again and to figure out what to do about the new gang in town. I'll be honest, I didn't get much information because I feel like a lot of the groups do not respect my rank within the MC. So they
Let's
kind
see
of
him
just
not
kept,
respect it now.
they kind of just kept ignoring my questions until I ended up pushing for answers.
Well, let us know how much their attitude changes once your patch gets sewn on.
Yep.
Remember stretch.
But
Yep.
after we bunkered down for the storm, I woke back up, went over to the hill that's across from the old cartel house area, the one that DW used to own. Apparently, it was sold off to Karma. That is their new compound. So it is very close to us and very close to our safe house. I was able to take a few pictures. There is more pictures other than the one that was sent out, but those ones are for our use if we ever need to, hit them where it hurts.
Now, I believe I would agree. You would agree as well as I. It's not exactly strategically sound with their numbers.
No, but it is also not going to be the easiest thing to fight in. We can get in, getting out is a completely different story in that matter. But this pretty much led up to yesterday's meeting because we hadn't heard anything about Karma in about I think a day
Do
or
you
so.
want to fill in Diesel about why yesterday's meeting happened?
So that old member that from your other MC, Diesel.
Yeah.
Amnes, something like that.
Amius.
Yes, thank you. We found out that one of his friends, Izzy, is a member of Karma. So because we were doing business with him, I wanted to know if I could trust him in continuing doing business. When he came and met with me, he told me to my face that he was not part of them, that he was still doing his own thing, but they were his friends. His friends were in there and stuff like that. Which I can't fault the guy if your friends decide to join a group, it's one thing. So I took him at face value on that. As we were leaving, as I was leaving and waiting for Skull to meet up with me, Ulrich calls over the radio saying that Karma wanted to have a meeting. Right after that meeting I just had with him. After he sat there to my face and told me he was not part of them. Apparently, one of their members, Izzy, had gotten shot at her house. So they wanted to have a meet with us. This was before we knew about the shooting. They wanted to meet up with us to talk things out. So we chose a neutral area over by Stroke Master on top of that parking garage up there. But they didn't want
To tell you exact spot there, you remember where we first met D12, man?
Yeah.
That's the exact spot we went to. And the setup was perfect.
But after that, they didn't want to meet us there because they didn't trust that we weren't up to something and because their member had been shot at and stuff like that. So they wanted us to meet them at Legion. The thing is, we didn't trust them because they've been known to ambush other groups or try to ambush them. So when they were, pretty much busting our balls on coming to this meet, we said no, and we were done with it. We went back to them to here. Thing is, they were waiting for us here. and they were out in the front parking lot after Skull had left the compound to go find his bike. Oh,
By the way,
I went to
Tommy,
go
you can
buy the
get
new
one of
bike.
those yourself.
yeah. I'll let well, actually, I'll say this before I let Skull tell you the rest. When they arrived, and it's my job to keep all of us safe. One of their members decided they wanted to pull a gun out on our property just
Interesting.
because our own guy was up on the roof with his gun, and instead they didn't like me, telling them to either put the fucking gun down or they weren't gonna walk out of there. I did not like that disrespect that they gave me. Arguing with me on our own property about, well, your guy has a gun out. Yeah, it's our place.
Especially after showing up unannounced.
Yeah, you came to our place without us saying it was okay, pull a gun out, and you expect us to be okay. Now, some of us might have gotten a little hot-tempered.
No,
With good
I had
reason.
full reason to be hot tempered. One member was
wasn't talking
standing.
about
Ah,
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about me and
Talking about
Cerbie.
me.
We both got a little bit hot-tempered in that situation. But I'll let you fill in the rest, Skull, if you want, because I don't particularly remember everything that was talked about.
no, they were pretty much just asking us questions like if we were involved in shooting their member and shit like that, which I told them we weren't, and pretty much you covered everything, man.
Okay. Well, there was one thing that came after this, and that was the text that I got.
Said that Armius messaged him saying that he didn't lie. He bled in after he found out Izzy was shot. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, that doesn't add up.
Yeah, because
5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, because the thing is like, he says that he was bled in afterwards, but yet they were upset because I went to go talk to one of their members about them. Even though it wasn't really about them or any information on them, it was more of just a trust conversation. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I smell something foul.
Yeah. If he ain't part of you, then why are you butthurt?
Interesting.
So he is.
I wanted to smoke him on the property, but I left it to the press.
I think
They didn't
we were
have any
all-
weapons out, so we didn't pull any out. But I think the amount of people that were here kind of shook them a little bit, even though they had one or two more than us.
They had one.
But that's beside the point. Now, did you deal with the situation at hand of Shorty being run off the road and things like that?
No, we kept him with us as we went to go meet with DW because this was at the same point we were all heading towards the meeting spot between DW, MDX, and us.
We
Alright.
saved that for church.
Yeah. When Shorty got ran off the road, he switched out his vehicle as quickly as he could to something else and met up with us. And at that point, we kept an eye on him at that point.
Okay. Well,
But he did describe the car to a T, and without information from us on what to look for.
okay, well, keep an eye out for that vehicle. If we see it, let's have words to them. All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Love it when it's fucking unanimous.
And if they don't want to listen, we'll let something else speak for us.
We said we would what was it?
Let's
Wouldn't jump
smash us
to-
some motherfucking grapes.
We said we wouldn't jump to conclusions and start shit but they're the ones that have come into the city and torn up
Started
the
shit.
yeah, torn up the little piece that was going on. So if it comes push to shove, I would rather see them out than a full-on war happen.
Well, we will deal with it when the time comes, but we've got club business to deal with after church, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't mean today. I mean down the road.
Exactly. Best we can do right now is keep an eye out for said vehicle. They've probably changed the paintwork by now, but yeah, if they haven't, we'll do something about it. Remember to stretch, ladies and gentlemen.
And honestly, I
eat and drink.
recognize the lady. I can
Before you eat and
recognize the
drink.
woman by her hairstyle and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but she could also change that hairstyle by now.
Well, we know the names of all of them.
True. Now, the last topic that I have here, apparently MDX is moving.
Yes. To Mirror Park.
Interesting.
Which is a issue for us, I feel like.
I mean, they're moving into a place where I've already had a house. I ain't moving.
And they're moving into a place where our stuff has already been stored. We ain't fucking moving that either.
Nope.
And like I even told Skull when we bought that place, for those of you that don't know, there's a storage warehouse that we've got that's right over near my place in Mirror Park. And even if it is found, whoop-de-doo, it's all fucking like scrap metal and shit.
Exactly.
Have we found what that stuff is used for?
I don't believe so yet.
Okay.
Now, in regards to MDX, now, I don't trust them that far, okay? I don't trust them far enough to give them 200 grand and tell them to hold it until later on. But, you know, I made a couple deals with them, and it seems like they're actually fairly reasonable.
Yeah, for now though.
I mean, Mav really isn't that much of an asshole. I mean, he's a little cocky, but he's not an asshole.
Yeah,
He
but
would
the
rather
thing,
see the piece than see it get torn.
yeah, but here's the thing. Look at how they were when they had the numbers. Now that people have apparently been bled out and left or removed,
Oh,
they're losing
forgot
numbers.
to be bled out.
Yeah, forgotten to be bled out. These people have not been bled out.
That's why Karma knows so much. They're forgotten to be bled out. They know all the knowledge MDX knows.
MDX really shot themselves in the dick there.
Yep.
It's not with just a small caliber neither.
Believe me, they're not happy either.
Yeah,
Which
well,
makes me wonder about that raid.
doesn't make me wonder about the raid, but here's what I'm trying to get at. They're now playing nice because they're losing people, or they have lost people.
I
Put two and
guarantee
two
it'll
together.
change once they have a number advantage again.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking too. It's like, would that niceness last, or they just deploy a
I
max?
think it needs to be put to the test. Like putting that generosity and niceness to the test. Because I don't believe and leave anything to chance, do you?
As I said, I was a man of action instead of word.
Let them earn by deed instead of word.
And can I finish what I was trying to say about
Yeah.
that? I wasn't trying to be like bring up the raid and so much as to saying I think there's a rat with karma. I think we have another rat situation.
I do too. I just remembered something I saw back there.
Because if the people who were not bled out retain information, means they remember what's going on in Tequila Law, which means they probably were working with the cops.
I got something funnier to mention. Too, on that note there, MK, that may make you have a question. At that raid, I saw a woman walking around. She was walking around the bar, first of all, outside. I could swear she reminded me of the build of Jane Doe. It, almost like the voice gave me deja vu, but she was claiming her name was Jade.
I do know that the police department did get a bit more in the way of people recently.
Now here's the catch.
Could just be a coincidence.
This Jade, I can confirm they were present at the bar before the raid. And whenever the raid occurred, I saw them in a sheriff's vest.
Yeah, they could have just had someone planted in there. It still could have been a cop.
It's an undercover cop.
Yeah. Just remember, we can't go based off voices with people. We met somebody today that sounded an awfully lot like someone else we know, but we know it's not him because he was asleep. Anyways.
Alright. That concludes all the topics that I have for today. Is there any questions? Anything else anyone else wants to bring up?
I do.
Go for it.
Actually had some ideas of what we can do to do events for the clubs as well. When I was at the fairgrounds not too long ago, there was a haunted house ride that was there that I decided to, try out. It got me thinking, since there's a lot of good bikes out there that with skulls and all that stuff, and there's shit, you even saw my hearse. House call? I thought we can all get all the groups if we're all civil. Dark Wolves, MBX if they're civil. If say Karma ends up being civil, we can all get together and do a Halloween ride or something.
Oh.
That's an
Oh,
idea.
like everybody gets in costume and shit. That'd be cool. You
That'd
might
be
want to bring that
fucking
up to city council.
Yeah.
Or we could host something here at the clubhouse for it.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, something that
fun.
can be done with the clubhouse mainly.
Yeah,
Get a
meet
little
up
bit of
in the
Twitch
area.
us as well, but not
Can I add to that as well?
Yeah.
So I don't know how we feel about these type of things, but I do know that there were two gentlemen yesterday that were up at Harmony that we were helping with vehicles and everything, who are looking to set up street races.
Yeah, I remember
I'm in.
that.
Yeah, they are looking into wanting to set those up. I mean, I have no objections to that. I think that would be fun.
And I have a car that I would be willing to have someone that is a member drive in if they wanted to use it.
You're just trying to kill us with your cars again.
I am not driving Christine. Fuck that shit.
I'm not talking Christine.
But yeah, this is probably the third time I have heard interest in street racing. In about 2 weeks now. So
I'm talking the one Prez drove in.
Yeah. I'm not touching that fucking thing again.
I mean, it was just what I was thinking, like, because when I rode that haunted house around, I'm like, dude, there's a lot of good-looking bikes out there with skulls and all that stuff, and we can all just like dress up in some good-ass costumes and shit, and just like have a Halloween time, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's something we can discuss outside of the church table and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just a thought.
Something we can definitely look at organizing too, because we do need to start doing things with the bar downstairs. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's why another reason why I was thinking, like, it can be part of the club ordeal as well, because that bar does need some attention.
Yeah, it's been sitting there since we built it, and
Fuck was that?
ALS, we wanted to apologize for earlier. The Blue was given info on how amazing our bar is and how illegally great our food and drinks were. We still... The fuck?
Bullshit.
Yeah.
So I smell a lot of shite.
I smell bullshit.
Reverse stretch.
Sorry, I'm allergic to it.
What
Yeah,
Remember,
the-
Franklin got
stretch,
picked up
guys.
in that. I didn't even realize Franklin got picked up in that as well.
Alright, well, that concludes church. Thank you again, everyone, for attending another eventful church session. Congratulations again to those who have been promoted. Those who need to go get some rest, please feel free to do so. And those who are going to be around, let's deal with this fucking prospect. They're wearing the wrong
I gotta
fucking...
think about
Anyone who wants
waterfalls
to
real
see,
quick.
anyone who wants to see what that banshee looks like, I'll pull it out from the garage real quick for y'all.
Let me go think about waterfalls.
Go
Let me
ahead.
go get these new patches on. I'll come out.